Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to R Squared Technology. I am your host, Ryan, and let's get ready to SOLIDWORKS. So as you know, this is our random tutorial from our good old Wednesday lineup, and today we are doing part 2 from the previous video of modeling a spoon using some surfacing features. A link in the description below where you can find the first video to start to get up to this point, as well as a link to the web page for the actual tutorial. So with that, grab a few Red Bulls and probably a seatbelt if you're going to chug a few, and let's get started. Alrighty, let's go. So you'll notice how I have a curve feature already. That's because there's a part 1 to this video where I create that curve using 2 different sketches we create. Not going to show you even what they are because you get to watch video number 1 to find that out and get to this point. Link in the description below. So we're going to do a number of reference plane geometry offsets and a number of sketches. I'll do the first one at a slower pace so you can see what's happening, and then the next couple of ones I'm going to go a little bit quicker because it's the same thing over and over minus slightly different offset dimensions and then radial dimensions. So let's go. We're going to choose the right plane. We're going to go to our Features tab. We're going to choose Reference Geometry and select a plane. Now our first offset will be 5 millimeters. Meters would be a long ways and not on the spoon. Fun fact, you're going to have a heck of a time if you did 5 meters. Then we'll click OK. Then we'll go up here to the Sketch tab. And you can either click on Sketch to start, or you can simply choose the 3-point arc. If the 3-point arc is not visible, then choose the drop-down arrow and choose 3-point arc. So now that we're in the command, I'm going to zoom in a little bit with the scroll wheel on the mouse rolling towards me. I'm then going to click to create my start point, click again to create my end point, and then I'm going to drag slightly down and click. I'll hit escape twice to make sure that I've closed out of the arc command and make sure that nothing is selected. Next, I'm going to hold the lovely control key on the keyboard. I'm going to select the left end point of our arc, and then I'm going to choose the curve. And then over here in the properties, I'm going to choose pierce in the add relation. That's the only relation we can add. And these are the relations in combination with the dimension that are going to fully define our sketch. So up here I will close the dialog. I'll press and hold the control key again. Choose the right end point of the arc and choose the curve. And then pierce that. Close out. And then we'll select Smart Dimension, select the arc, click. And then for here, the first one, it's going to be 20 millimeter radius. Enter. And voila, we have our first fully defined sketch. So from here, I will exit. And what I'm going to use is hovering over the plane. I'm going to right click and hide it. Now, in this particular parts instance, we can hide the planes after we've created the sketch, because we're only using those reference planes once. Keep that in mind. Other parts, you may not want to hide it because you need to re-reference it. Or you may want to temporarily hide it. That way, it's less busy. So, again, we'll choose the right plane, go back to our Features tab, we'll choose the Reference Geometry, select a plane, and this time our offset is going to be 22.5 millimeters. Hit enter, and then we will click OK. Go to our Sketch tab, choose 3-point arc, click to start arc, click to end our arc, and then drag for the up or down shape of our arc. Click again, hit escape twice, then I'm pressing hold Control on our keyboard, select the left end point of the curve, pierce that, close the dialog, Control again, select the other endpoint of the curve, right endpoint that is, select the curve, click pierce, close the dialog, click Smart Dimension, select our arc, click, and then for this one it is going to be 22 millimeter. Close and exit the sketch, Control S, save often as always, and then I'll hide the plane again. And now we're on to plane 3, so we're going to select the right plane again, the Features tab, Reference Geometry, choose a plane, and now what we're going to do is 5 millimeters, but make sure you choose Flip Offset. Select OK, go back to our Sketch tab, choose a 3-point arc, click to start the arc, click to end the arc, and then drag down a little bit to give the arc some shape. Click again, hit escape, and the radius for this is going to be 20, but first gotta add those relations, so pressing Control on the keyboard, select the endpoint of our arc, select the curve, pierce it, close the dialog, press and hold Control, select the other end of our arc, select the curve, and pierce it. Then choose our Smart Dimension, drag out 20 mil, enter. Exit that, hide that plane, right plane, feature, reference geometry, plane, 50 mil, flip to the offset. It's an important part, because otherwise you'll be off the spoon. Select OK. And now the only difference in this arc is when we go to Sketch, 3-point arc, I will click again, but I'm going to drag up this time for the arc. Hit escape twice, press and hold the Control key, select the left end of my arc, select the curve, pierce it. Close the dialog, press and hold the Control key, select the right end of my arc, select the curve, pierce it again, close it, add a Smart Dimension, select our arc, drag out, and this one is going to be 20 mil. Hit enter and select OK, exit the sketch, hover over your plane, right click and hide it. And now we're on to plane number 5, our final plane. Woohoo! Go back to the Features tab, make sure that right plane is selected, choose the reference geometry, choose the plane, but this time we're not going to choose an offset number. Now this time we're going to actually just choose the endpoint of the curve, so select there, and then we will click OK. From here, we're going to make another arc. We'll choose that from Sketch tab, 3-point arc, and then I'll click out here, click over here, just drag up a little bit, click again, hit escape twice, and then I'm going to press and hold the Control key again, select my left end of the arc, select the curve, pierce it, close that, hold the Control key, select the right endpoint of my arc, select the curve, pierce it, click OK, slap a Smart Dimension on that, click and drag, and that is going to be 25 millimeter radius. We can close the dialog and exit out. I'm going to hit the space bar and bring it back into an isometric view for a moment here. I will then right click on plane number 5 and hide it. Control S. Now from here we're going to jump into some surfacing. To do that, we're going to go to the Surfaces tab here, and we're going to choose the Filled Surface. Now in our selection, an easy way to do this is in our graphics view from the navigation arrow here, click down for our flyout menu, and we're going to want to choose Sketch 7 and the curve. So Sketch 7 and the curve, and now we've got this funky looking taco going on. I'm going to hit spacebar to bring it back into an isometric view, and now we're going to go into select the constraint curves, and then we're going to select 6, 5, 4, and 3. Or you could do 3, 4, 5, 6. Either way works, however you want to do it. And then we are going to click OK. And look at that. It's a spoon starting to take shape. Hit Control S. And now we're going to add some thickness to our spoon, because who doesn't love a thick spoon with some good curves? To do this, we're going to use the thicken feature up here, so select that. And then we're going to make sure that thicken both sides is selected. Then we're going to put it to 0.75 millimeters. Then select it, select our spoon surface here, click OK, and just like that we've thickened the geometry. Control S, and then I'm going to press and hold this center scroll wheel on my mouse to bring the back side into view. And I'm going to do one quick thing. I'm going to hover over the Curve 1 sketch, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to hide it. And now from here, the next thing we're going to do is add some fillets. So go back over to our Features tab, select Fillet, and our first fillet will have a radius of 2 millimeters. And then I'm going to choose this edge of the spoon back handle and this edge. And then click OK. Hit Control S, and then I'll bring this back isometric. And we're going to do one more fillet in a really efficient manner here. So this is going to be 0.75 for the radius. And then from here, what I'm going to do is literally just select this face and watch this. The whole spoon gets this partial preview for that fillet. And then from here we can click OK. And look at that. We got a fillet all the way around the spoon of all these edges here. So we'll hit Control S again. I'm going to hit the space bar. I'm going to bring it back isometric. And now the last few things we're going to do is a move and copy in a way. That is to bring it kind of ground level for the visualization. So from here, we're going to go to Insert, and we're going to go over to Features, and we're going to choose Move and Copy. And you're going to want to make sure that copy is not selected. And then if your view looks like this, you're going to want to make sure that you're under the rotate. And then on the Z-axis here, we're going to choose the value of 6.75. And then I will just click on the spoon itself, and we get it removed itself. We'll just redo it, 6.75. And I'll hit Tab, so we get this preview of the rotation it's going to do. And then we can select OK. And then we'll hit Control S. Now from here, this is going to vary slightly depending on the machine you're running on and its ability to render the graphics. So you'll notice one thing is we can already see kind of this reflection in the spoon. This does not have a material applied to it, nor does it have any kind of color or texture or anything like that. But what I do have selected is Real View Graphics. So the next thing we're going to do also is make sure that we have the Renders Tool tab. So go to the Renders tool, click Edit Appearance, and then under Appearance Color, choose the drop-down arrow. Then under Metal, choose the drop-down arrow. Then select the Steel folder. And for this one, we're going to double-click Polish Steel. And from here, now we get an even more kind of polished steel look to the spoon. And then we can click OK. And I'm going to hit Escape twice, and then I'm going to click in the graphics area to give us the full view. So that is it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Again, there's a link in the description for the first video to get up to the beginning of this video. And then there's also a link to the description where you can find the tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.